going. I think we're on. Hello. Welcome to Brisbane Small Business. I'm Shtik Saraniga from the Profitable Small Business, and today is the Improving Profitability Show. And I have with me the lovely Kevin Gammy. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, I'm really well. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining me today.
That's okay.
So,
Anytime.
we spoke last time, Kevin, about the costs involved when in putting your product or your service together. I thought it'd be good to kind of continue with that a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the title of the show, you may have noticed, is The Hidden Costs Killing Your Profitability. And I see this happen quite often, which is heartbreaking to see, because I know how passionate small business owners are about their business, about growing. Obviously, the aim is to make a profit and make money. So there's a few things that come up often that is killing the profitability. And I thought we could go through that today.
Cool.
So we mentioned a few things last time. So when you're putting your product together, there's a few components that often get missed. So most people work out what it actually costs to make that product. So for you, Kevin, it will be actually putting the bed together for your tube-proof bed. So actual just getting that bed together. There's a few things that get missed so often, and it's things like the delivery fee, the payment fees, the storage.
If we can just go back a step. So we're actually first talking about those hidden costs of production, the hidden costs of getting the product to, ready and to the customer. Yeah.
Yeah, getting it to the customer's front door.
Awesome.
Yeah. If you're putting, the components together, so a lot of people will, put the costs together of the actual components. Obviously, we're buying those components, so those costs are quite obvious. I think in most cases, not always, but they're the most obvious of all the costs that are involved. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example here, Kevin, just so I can explain myself a little bit further. So if you're actually making something from scratch, so say if you're making a product from wood and you're putting pieces together, actually buying the wooden components, the nails, the pieces of wood, they would be part of your raw cost, actually getting the product together. And often we kind of stop there. Does that work with your business as well? So you have obviously purchased the beds as well, Kevin. So you know the main components for your product.
Yeah, look, in one sense, I've got two pretty simple components because we've got the beds and we've got the mats. We do the mats, we do produce them locally. I buy them. I've worked out a deal with a local manufacturer. So to me, it kind of is as simple as I have a cost of getting the beds, and then I have a cost of all the frames, and then I have a cost of the mats. However, there are a few hidden costs associated with those.
Can you explain what do you find that's hidden in your business?
Well, one of the things that really hit me was the cost of not just the freight, but then you've got the customs. When you bring something in, you've got to deal with a customs agent. You've then got your GST, and yes, you're going to get that back, but you need to realize from a cash flow point of view, the delivery from the dock to my house. Quite often that may or may not be included, and particularly with the way that I do it, there's sometimes extra little costs associated with that all of a sudden just get added on. And all of these little things, they're all little.
Yeah, they're all little. No,
right?
Not really noticeable, are they, when you first start out?
No, but then they all add up. Now, I got a similar thing with my mats. Generally, I will go out and pick up the mats because my guy will produce a whole lot at once. And yes, I could get him to just ship them to me, but it's early days of the relationship, and so I want to make sure that I'm going out there and I'm having a chat with him, and we're getting a really good, strong business relationship because I want this to be a long-term thing. And so there's a cost of that time. Now, part of that time, I look at part of that time as a marketing and an indirect cost associated with that. But part of that time is freight. Okay, so I don't at this stage bother to go right down to having the distinction between the two. But it is something that I need to keep consideration of, that if this was to be an ongoing practice, depending on batch size, I need to add the cost of that freight to my mats, just like I do my international freight and add that to the cost of my beds.
Yeah, so there's so many things that they, like you said, seem so small at the start that it's like, I'm not really going to bother with it, but it really adds up. And the reason why I want to kind of really stress at how important it is to kind of look at that and be aware of it and even write it down, like keep track of it, because I've had clients in the past, even when I've worked in corporate. So when you don't have that awareness, when you don't keep track of it, the small things add up. And also things change so much. Like today, I mean, how much has fuel gone up in the last week or two? It's ridiculous.
And as a result, freight is going up. Okay,
Yes.
so the cost of delivery of something from here and locally even has gone up a couple of dollars. It doesn't sound like much. It's gone up a couple of dollars. But if you're absorbing the freight costs, then that's a direct cost of that product, right?
Huge.
And you need to be adding that in. And that's going to be squeezing a lot of people's margins. I have a set freight fee all around Australia. And and that was based on average, it was costing me $25 to get a bed from, wherever, from here to wherever it was going. So, and I just said, so I'll just charge on average $25. And maybe I need to just go and we're going to quote freight.
Yeah. So things change so much. And what I found is some of my clients, they may have, a list of costs that they have, especially when they're doing quotes or putting, personalizing some of the products that they're making. They have a list of costs that are involved. But once they've set those, they don't change. They don't change them, update them as time goes on. I've had a couple of clients where, they've made products for their customers, and what we've found is over time, nothing's really changed in their cost base, but what it's actually costing them to build or get that product to their customer has doubled in some cases. So without doing that work, without having that awareness, until I went in and analyzed some of the costs, we found out that some of the products were hugely loss making because they hadn't kept up to date with the changing prices, with different components that they were using in their business. So I just wanted to stress how important it is to be aware of not just the main parts, but the hidden ones that we don't often take care of.
So with that, how often would you suggest people should be doing, at very worst, a cursory glance, a brief overview?
Now, I always say to my clients, we should be looking at the numbers every month. I mean, that's what I do. But, once a quarter, like just have a quick look, have a quick stock check. Say, okay, so this is what I've been buying it at. Has it changed? Has it changed? Do I need to do anything with it? I think quarterly at the very least would be a really good start.
It scares the hell out of me when you say how much of those prices change, because my beds are aluminium.
Okay.
And aluminium, there happens to be, a little bit of a scuffle over in Europe right now, and the price of aluminium's just gone through the roof. So I'm petrified about the next order I place.
Yeah, just know, but the fact that you're aware, you're not doing it blindly. You're not just putting in more orders without, just fingers crossed. Like, hopefully it will be okay. It's your business. It's important to be aware of those. If you do need to change things up, a lot of businesses you're seeing are changing their prices, which are obviously affecting the customer. Even I read, was it yesterday, cost of a coffee might go up to $7 in some places just because of the changing prices. So if you're not keeping track of all of those hidden ones, then you can't make any changes. You can't adapt your business to what's happening in the real world.
That's it. I'm drinking smaller coffees.
Thankfully, I'm not a coffee drinker, so it hasn't affected me, but I'm sure it will be other tea as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fantastic support. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just something that I come across a lot. Even I was talking to someone this morning, like you may find that the dollars are coming in, like some, especially if, you've got millions coming in revenue. At the same time, that's a great celebration, but you may also have millions going out. But having that understanding of the flow, what's actually impacting your profitability, what's taking that away from you, what's stopping that money hitting your bank account and staying there for you to reinvest in your business, they're all key things to be aware of.
And that relates really well to the discussion that I had with Daniel yesterday
Yeah.
in relation to, as you're growing, some of those growing pains, because if you have a product business, as you're growing, you're needing more and more inventory all the
Yes.
time, and the cost of purchase of inventory, once upon a time I only needed 70 dog beds or thereabouts. My last order was 150. My next order will be 250. So each time I'm buying them, that's going up, and therefore I need greater funding for the next batch. And that needs to be taken into consideration as well.
Yeah, and again, I think probably Dan mentioned it, that importance of cash flow, so that you have got the cash to purchase inventory. You're paying that upfront before you've made this, or hopefully you've got orders in place, but you're paying for that before the revenues come in. So knowing what you're paying for, knowing the cash flow in your business, they all impact on your profitability.
Absolutely. No, thanks very much for your support and your help today on that.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thanks for joining me today.
That's okay. Not a problem at all. Sorry, I was running a little bit late.
Yeah, and we kind of making a bit of a noise here. If you wanted to talk about your business on BSB TV as well, please do comment below. I would love to have lots of different industry guests on the show. There's so many things that we can talk about, and it's great to be able to talk about lots of different types of products and services, not just tube-proof beds. So yeah, if you're interested in being on the show, we can talk about your business and the main components and of becoming a profitable business, then yeah, leave a comment below or just message me.
Absolutely. Just comment below. So thank you very much. Thanks for being an awesome host today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for being here. I'll speak to you all soon.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.